just to kind of get that out the way from the very beginning. No, I'm not no relation to anybody in the Jackson 5, all right? Just get that out the way. Now, I wish I would. I mean, I'll be collecting a check right now, so. However, I am the program manager for Strive Future Leaders. Strive Future Leaders is a program that originally was already in Philadelphia, but a lot of people didn't know about it. PHMC, Philadelphia Health Management Corporation, owned the contract, and Jeff's Human Services inherited that contract. Some things that, we kind of do better than others. So, no shade or anything towards anyone else, but we took that contract and we rocked it. Our contract came in the beginning of 2020. We inherited that contract, but because of the pandemic, we weren't able to start until summer of 2020. With that being said, we had 6 months to make benchmarks to reach 100% of the same benchmarks that other programs had for a full year. Okay. This graduating class is not only special to me, but my staff, because of the fact that today marks our last day of the fiscal year 21 of our program, and we're at 153% of achievement. I'm proud to say that not only because, again, we did what other companies did in 6 months. We did in 6 months what they did for a year, right? But we also challenged ourselves, and we have 73 enrollment attainments out of the 40 that they required us to get. So the reality of it is like I said before, we do things a little bit better than others, and I'm proud to say that. Just to kind of give you the history of Strive Future Leaders, it's a skills training, paid work experience, and placement opportunity program for justice-involved youth for young adults between the ages of 18 and 24. We pretty much help them set a career path, and we help them become striving, adults and community members. We also are in conjunction with a program called TCY. TCY is The Choice Is Yours. And you'll hear from the program manager a little bit later in the program. But TCY, basically, The Choice Is Yours is a diversion program for first-time nonviolent individuals between the ages of 18 and 24 as well. Arrested for possession with intent to just distribute. After they have a review in TCY court, the participants can successfully join a program that offers a variety of employment, education, and life skill activities, along with community service as an alternative for incarceration. Program graduates are eligible to have their records expunged with clean records and a second chance in society. So, very proud to be part of the diversion team and what we do, because we're very, very passionate in what we do. And the reason why you guys are here today is because of those graduates out there, and those are the reasons why we're able to obtain the grants and the funding that we're able to obtain to do what we do. The first thing we want to try to do is bring crime down, one person at a time, one graduate at a time, one skill trade at a time. All right. But without further ado, I definitely want to bring a class, and I just wanted to give you guys a little history of our program, and let's get it started. They don't know the selection that I provided for them to come in, so you hear that right? But it's a new day and age. You don't even do that, right? So the reality of it is, they don't know yet, but I got something for them. So if everyone can stand. And without further ado, I would like to introduce the 2021 honorees and graduates of Strive Future Leaders Penn Foster Program.
We the best music.
Let's give them a hand clap. So, and that's what it is. Guess what? We did it. They did it. We all did it, right? And that's why I chose that song selection for these guys. I'm going to go ahead and start my spiel because we have a program, and I really want to get this keynote speaker up here because it's really special to me. He's actually one of my mentors, and I want to get him up here as soon as possible. So, again, good afternoon to all the families, partners, and affiliates of Divergent Services, just executive staff, team members, and honor members of Strive and TCY's graduating class of 2021. Today is a monumental moment for several reasons. Pushing through many adversities and turmoil, but trying to depend on their own resilience to overcome an abundance of overwhelming tribulations such as the pandemic, such as the riots and unrest in the city, crime and violence, death and distortion, racism and prejudice, social injustice, not to mention being a walking target on your back because of your culture, your ethnicity, or your race, or being stereotyped and ridiculed by your own communities because of the generation that you represent. Better yet, feeling disgraced, lost, depressed, and deprived from what your future holds. Well, I'm here to tell you that you're not alone. We all felt the disparities of the world before our own eyes. For example, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and many others. Today is the moment you can reflect on how you overcame these life-learned lessons to live the moments of truth. The moment that you realized that justice involved didn't mean that you were justice enabled. The moment you realized that you are not a victim to circumstance and crippled by anything else but your own negative criticisms. At that moment, you decided to challenge yourself and become a better person than you were the day before, taking one step closer to finding your purpose. Once you realized that your only competition was the person on the other side of that mirror, you stood firm, you fixed your posture, and you smiled because you believed in yourself. Chadwick Boseman stated in his charge to Howard University, "You would rather find purpose than a job or a career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on this planet and this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things that you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember, the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. You have fulfilled your purpose by taking the next steps in life on purpose." I'm going to read that again. We'll rewind that a little bit. You have fulfilled your purpose by taking the steps in life on purpose. The past is behind you, and now, this is your time. The light of new realization shines on you today. And as you commit to your past, press on with pride and press on with purpose and strive to become the future leaders you prepared yourself to be. Thank you. So, moving the program forward, that was something I wanted to charge you guys with because each and every one of you know some type of way we had a conversation. In that conversation, the reality of it is, I believe and we believe in you as a whole. Strive Future Leaders is not just a name, it's what we embedded in. So the reality of it is, the next speaker coming up is someone that, in my opinion, is one of the keys to Philadelphia. Our next speaker coming up is none other than your own Mr. Michael Robinson. He is an award-winning corporate executive, human resource professional, and university administrator at Temple University, TU. I was Temple made as well. He serves as a senior pastor of an urban ministry in North Philadelphia and is a columnist for a weekly regional newspaper in Philadelphia as well. He has empowered and launched thousands towards achieving their life goals. Among these achievements, Mr. Robinson is an avid supporter and advocate in community outreach, practitioner in career and professional development, talent acquisition specialist, and employer relations developer, and the title of hosting and holds the title of hosting Philadelphia's largest annual neighborhood job fair in North Philadelphia, helping all job seekers across the city. So without further ado, I definitely want to introduce Mr. Michael Ross.
Come on, let's give it up for our graduates today. Come on, we can do better than that. Let's let our graduates know how proud you are of them. Come on, let's celebrate them. Yeah. That's what's up. I want to thank the Jeff's team and Jermaine and his peers for setting this up. It is awesome when we can recognize our young people. Yeah. Come on now. We all are here today to celebrate this momentous occasion. I'm not going to be before you long, but I especially want to thank the parents and relatives and friends that came out to support you guys. You are a part of a monumental graduating class. You guys are a part of the class of 2021. That's a major class because y'all are part of that nationwide class that's coming out of this pandemic. So it is not only monumental individually, this achievement that we're celebrating today, but you are a part of a historic graduating class that have come out of one of the country's worst pandemics. Yeah. And so you, by nature of just graduating today, you have shown your resilience. You have shown that I can stick to something and complete it even in the midst of some great trials and tribulations. So I applaud each and every one of you for your success today, locally and nationally. Today we celebrate the graduates of the Strive Future Leaders program. You have succeeded where others said you would fail. You've achieved when others thought that you couldn't do it. Class of 2021, congratulations on a job well done. Malcolm X once said, education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. When I grew up in the Bennett Home projects of Chester with the rats, the roaches, the violence, the crime, the death, and all of the street hustlers that I grew up with, I never imagined being that corner boy in the street, that I would travel the country, that I would have opportunities to travel outside of the country to speak to business leaders, young people in this country and abroad. I never saw that for my life. All I saw was the corner and all the things that the street life had to offer. So I never imagined that there was a life bigger than my block. You got to understand that life is bigger than what you've experienced so far. And it does not yet appear what you're going to become. And so I say that to you to say that coming from the corner as a street hustler when I was a little shorty in my neighborhood, I never realized that I would be a graduate of the FBI Citizens Academy. Never imagined that I would be a graduate of the DEA Citizens Academy. Never imagined that I would be a police chaplain. Never imagined that I would be chairperson of the 22nd Police District Attorney's Youth Aid Panel that works with expunging the records of first-time juvenile offenders. Never saw that for my life. But I need y'all to understand what started to happen with my life is I just started building on one success after another. And it didn't start until I started listening to some positive direction. Come on. You got to receive some wisdom from those who've been there, done that. There's some folk in here that been there, done that. Look, I've been arrested. I got a pass. But you got to understand, there comes a time when you got to draw a line in the sand and say, I've been there, I've done that, and I want better for my life. Today is one of the greatest moments in life history, in your life history. You can move forward building on today's success, or you can do nothing and allow failure and laziness to destroy all of the positive achievement you've built up to this point. You have the power to change your life for the better. You have the power to determine the pathways you will follow. You have the power to decide whether you will continue to surround yourself with individuals who have some goals, some aspirations, some things in their life, objectives that are going to take them to the next level, or you can choose to be mediocre and just fall prey to the streets. It's all on you. Malcolm X said, anytime you see someone more successful than you are doing something. They are doing something you aren't. So when you see somebody successful, ask yourself the question, what have they done to get to where they are? I told y'all about my little background. I ain't going to it in detail, but I've been there, done that, know what the street life's about. But I know that there's a different life on the flip side. And I used to say to myself, oh, I'll never be this, I'll never become that, I'll never be college material, because of the adversities, the domestic abuse in my house, the drugs that were dealt around my neighborhood, the hustlers that pulled me into some of the lifestyle changes and life choices that I regret today. But I thank God I was able to listen to some positive influences that were in my life. They say, Mike, you can make a choice. You're at a fork in the road. You can do good or you can do bad. And I chose to do better. And so I'm challenging you today to do better. What are you not doing that's holding you back? Challenge yourself with that question. What am I not doing that's holding me back from being better? Because there's a lot you could be doing. Concentrate and work on building on these 8 essential interpersonal skills. Build on 1, emotional intelligence. That's your ability to keep your emotions under control and to keep your composure. I wish somebody taught me that a long time ago, or I wouldn't have been arrested, wouldn't have had some troubles that I had earlier in my life. I could have composed myself and not been a hothead. Then communication, number 2. You got to master communication. Communication isn't just how you speak and how you write. Communication is how are you projecting yourself to the general public? Come on. Do you wear your pants halfway off your behind? Do you look like you're, about some success, or do you look like you're about doing some strong things? Now, I'm going to tell you, it's not fair that people judge us on how we look. That's not fair, because you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, because if that was the case, I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I had. But you got to shift sometimes. Not only, here it is, increasing your communication skills and how you speak and how you write, but it's also how you look, because people will judge you, good, bad, or indifferent, on how you look. And people will evaluate you whether or not, especially in interviews, whether you meet an image that conveys positivity, or do you go in there looking like, I just got out of bed, I don't really care about this job, my image, I don't really care about that. Take it or leave it. Third, reliability. That's how dependable you are. Can employers, can your mentors depend on you? Fourthly, leadership. Leadership isn't just leading people. Leadership is taking a stand to say, I don't want to do some bad things anymore. I'm putting that in the rearview mirror. You ever notice when you drive a car that there's this wide panoramic view that lets you see everything in front of you? And there's this small little rearview mirror that lets you see what's in back of you. The reason why the glass in front of the car is so big so that you can see this wide open world that lies before you. And the reason why that mirror is so small is because it lets you know there ain't really nothing back here for you to stay focused on. Your focus is ahead, where all of this beauty is laid before you. And then when it comes to leadership, avoid risk factors that can take you down. Individual risk factors, bad decisions that you can make. Family risk factors, family members that don't mean you no good. And I know that's tough medicine, but there's some family members you got to say, nah, got to keep it moving in this direction. And then risk factors of the peers you hang around. Everybody hold up the OK sign. Everybody hold up the OK sign. We be like, you just okay, no, I'm just kidding. My girl right here was like, hi. Hold it up. Everybody hold up the OK sign. Hold it up real high. Now do me a favor. Put it on your chin. How many people put it on their cheek? I said your chin. Now watch this. I gave everybody in the room a simple direction, simple instruction. You ignore the instruction, but you model my behavior. You better watch the peer group you hang around, because it's not so much what people say, it's what people do that can influence you. And then you gotta watch the education and community risk factors. Are you just gonna stop here and not continue in your learning? Or are you gonna have a continuous thirst to elevate yourself to the next level? Trade school, college, cosmetology school, computer school, whatever it takes to go to the next level. And then fifth, be open to feedback. Don't always be sensitive about feedback. 6, empathy. Feel towards other people. I mean, it's just human. If somebody's hurting, to comfort them. If somebody's struggling, to help them. That's just being human. That's empathy. Teamwork. Learn to work cooperatively with folks. I work with folks that I know were racist. Straight out racist. I work right alongside of them. But you're not messing up my stats. You're not messing up my money.
Come on.
I'm going to keep my job.
That's it.
You can have all of that racism and all of that over there, but I'm not going to let that mess up what's right here. I got a family, I got a wife, I got kids, and I got a dog that need to be fed.
Come on.
So I ain't letting y'all mess up my scratch. Phil Jackson, one of the greatest NBA basketball coaches of all time, he said this: the strength of the team is each individual member. The strength of each individual member is the team. Think individually, but work collaboratively. And then lastly, lifelong learning. Always have a thirst to take your intellect and your emotional intelligence and all that's about you in terms of the wisdom and development about you. Always have a thirst for learning to take it to the next level. William Ernest Henley, a poet who many years ago, over 200 years ago, died of tuberculosis, had his foot amputated because of the disease, was languishing in a hospital bed for almost 20 months because of his illness. He wrote one of the greatest poems to encourage you when you have those days where you're feeling down, where you feel like life is against you, and when you feel like there's great adversities challenging you. This poem that he wrote in the midst of his greatest health crisis, he wrote this poem to encourage all that who would read it to be encouraged to do their best in their greatest struggles. And the poem is called Invictus, and it goes like this: out of the night that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my incomparable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced or cried aloud. Under the bludgeoning of chance, my head is bloody, but it's unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. God bless you. Congratulations. And I'm so proud of you. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Now y'all see why I went first, right? There we go. Great brother. First time I met Mr. Robinson was at, I worked at Job Corps for 10 years. And we literally invited him for a mill enrichment project that we were doing at Job Corps. And he came and spoke, and again, words are deep. You know what I mean? That two-edged sword is crazy, And that's how I learned. That's how I learned to start. That's where I started my career. So that's where and that was 17 years ago. So, and I tell you guys this because Although Mike worked at Temple University, again, I went from Job Corps to Urban League of Philadelphia, and then later on down to Jebs. That's a 17-year relationship. And that's why I talk about building relationships all the time, networking all the time. We met somewhere we did not know each other, and at this point today, he's part of my circle, he's part of my network, he's part of my, my mobility to move forward. So, in this part of the program, so I want to thank him again for coming. And those words were free.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, right? Like that was free, just like this program, free, right? Out of everybody and anything out here that's charging you for the things that you should be getting, we're giving you for free. That's love. That's love. All right. So right now, we did a lot of talking already, right? You heard me. We heard our keynote speaker, Mr. Robinson. This program, again, like I said from the beginning, is nothing without them. So what we want to do now is bring up our two class valedictorians. Our first one is going to be our Strive class valedictorian, and the second is going to be our TCY class valedictorian. So without further ado, I want to introduce Mr. Gabriel Palmer.
That was the problem. That's why I held it, because I didn't want it to do that.
This man said, "Hit it, Jermaine," every single time we walk into the building. And that's something that will always stay in my head all the way up until this program is forever gone. I don't even know where he got it from, but he'll tell you in a second. I'm pretty sure.
The hit of Jermaine joke, that's the, I got that from him. I told you to watch this special, you missed out. But first things first, thanks for the opportunity to speak, but first things first, I want everyone here, I want to ask if everyone here could stand up and give a round of applause to all of our graduates here today. I'd like to congratulate all of you and myself on finishing high school and getting certifications and dedicating yourselves to growing your lives. The perseverance that all of you have shown, the consistency and the effort it took to complete the program, it speaks for itself. And thank y'all for being great, for real, seriously. And also, I would like to thank everybody at Straub's and at Jebs. I got to give y'all a round of applause because without y'all, we wouldn't have had the opportunity that we had to graduate in this way. Now, to my fellow graduates, I have been asked. Now to my fellow graduates, I've been asked to speak on this amazing day, and I'll tell you one thing now, and that is I won't be before you long. I'm going to be short, simple, and sweet. So your reasons for being here today are all different. You all come from different families. You all come from different situations. You all are here for similar reasons, but how much being here means to all of you is different. But one thing, without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, is that all of you wanted better for yourselves, and you made it happen. And that speaks to all of your characters, and also speaks to your ability for greatness, seriously. So with today being the first day for the rest of your lives, if there's one thing I could get across to all of you, is to never give up and keep moving forward. All of you have the ability to do both of those things, but sometimes life becomes hard to do it. I mean, even today was a hard day for me. I almost didn't come here, to be quite honest, but I just came just because I knew somebody was going to hit me over the head if I didn't, so I had to. But today, my main goal is to inspire each and every one of y'all, because I know y'all can be great. So to everyone, with whatever it is that you want to do in life, I mean, and there's a world of opportunity for you, and there's a world of opportunity here. Like, even me, myself, I'm 18. If you told me 4 years ago where I would be in the position I am, a young black man, I'm a youth director for a community healing project, mowing 7 streams of income, I graduated high school, I wouldn't believe you. I seriously wouldn't. But at the end of the day, I wanted better for myself, and I made it happen. Everyone here, y'all wanted better for yourselves, and y'all made it happen. And that speaks, again, to all of y'all. So as I said, whatever it is that you want to do in life, and there's a world of opportunity, don't let the negative things outweigh the bad. Negative things, they can touch you in a bunch of different ways, and they can weigh on you in so many different ways you not even think. all of y'all here have had different traumas. All of y'all had to deal with something, fight through something. To this day, that still affects you. You know, to get personal for a moment, I almost gave up on life when I saw one of my friends get shot and die in front of me. In the day, I came here and I still made it through. If I can go through something like that, and I'm pretty sure all of y'all have been through something, maybe not as traumatic, but y'all been through your own traumatic situations. Y'all can do it too. So, all right, and don't let the negative things outweigh the bad. And if you're going to stop after something and you fail, I fell multiple times. You know, I remember I got kicked out of one of the high schools that I went to and had to go to a different one. I considered that a failure. But at the end of the day, the next time I came at it, even though I failed, next time you start over with something and you fail, you're not starting from the beginning. You're not, oh, I got to go through this whole situation. You're going to start with experience and it becomes easier for you to do. You're more equipped to do whatever it is that you need to do. So next time you go after it, you're much more likely to succeed and you're much more likely to be great. To my fellow graduates, don't let the fear of success hold you back. Get used to being uncomfortable because it makes you better.
That's right.
To tell you a quote, I once heard an amazing lady say, your altitude is determined by your attitude. It's just that simple.
What's she say?
You know, your altitude is determined by your attitude. The way you look at life, it determines where you're going in. So even Mr. Robinson, he just spoke, he basically said the exact same thing in a bunch of different other words. Think of everything that affects you and makes you the person that you are. And if you want to do better, you can do better because, as I said, it's a world of opportunity. So for the future, try to look at things from a more positive perspective and see just how much it can change your reality. Now, to all of my graduates, the things that you've done in your time here are amazing, but don't stop here and don't stop now. All I want is for you to continue to strive for greatness and strive for the life that you deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. So next I want to bring up Mr. Ishmael Rodriguez.
That was a good speech. Mine's not gonna be nowhere as cool as that, but we're gonna get it done. Well, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I'm Ishmael Rodriguez. Today's a good day. It's a really good day for the best day this whole year. But yeah, my name is Ishmael Rodriguez, as I already said. I'm a proud father of 5 children, right? This experience for me, like going back to school and stuff, almost 10 years later, was really good. It's something I didn't expect, didn't see myself doing. I never even seen myself graduating high school. I didn't see myself getting a diploma or nothing. But yeah, what really motivated me to do this was all the doubt around me, all the negativity and all of that type of stuff and all that. And since a kid, people always told me, that I was gonna be delinquent and stuff like that, spend the rest of my life in jail and stuff. So it came to a point in time that I wanted to show them wrong, like that they was wrong and all of that. So I always told myself that I was going to do better than they got. The stuff they told me, whatever, I was always going to do better. I felt that I was going to do better. I didn't care. I didn't want to finish school when I was a teenager because it wasn't in my path at the moment. I knew I was going to turn out better. The Choice is Yours program helped me accomplish my goals. They helped me a lot with getting my mind straight, with getting to where I want to be right now. I want to give lots of thanks to Miss Alberta for constantly motivating me and pushing me, calling me, making sure that I'm gonna show up and all that type of stuff, making sure that I'm doing my work and everything. She won't give me no breaks. It'll be 11 o'clock at night, she blowing my phone. I want to also give thanks to Miss Shakita. She was the best social worker I could have, and counselor. She counseled me through a lot, especially this year. This year was a roller coaster going down most of the time. But yeah, I want to give all my peers and everybody, thanks and everything for all the conditional love I got from Miss Alberta and from all the social workers. And yeah, I don't know what to say. But yeah, that diploma was the last thing that I needed, and thanks to the TCY program, the Choice is Yours and all that, I finally got it. And I can further, my business to where I really want it now. And we're gonna get there. Thanks to you, Miss Alberta. Thanks to the whole TCY program and everybody. And you know, I wish everybody luck.
All right, thank you, thank you. So as you see, we got some great things going on here. We got a lot of reasons to celebrate. It's a lot that has been said now that kind of, and I'm gonna introduce the next person, but I think I kind of need the spirit on me kind of, something just pouring in me. I lost my son a year and a half ago at 18 years old. And all these members know my story. They come in my office. My son is all in my office. You know, portraits, sayings, whatever the case is, right? When I'm here seeing these individuals in their cap and gowns, it reminds me of the day that my son walked across the same 2019. Passed away the same, he was killed in a car accident. His friend fell asleep at the wheel. October 12, 2019, he graduated June 2nd, 2019. He started college. It was September 5th or something like that, 6th was the day after Labor Day, right? He was recruited to Rutgers University, and he had a full scholarship for basketball. He passed away 2 weeks before the season started. His surprise to me was that I didn't know he was working out with the team that whole summer. And the reality of it is that you don't know what tomorrow is promised. Just last week, because Gabriel kind of hit me when he said, you know, he's watching his friends got shot. I grew up on Southwest, 54th and Willows when we got out, right? The reality of it is that corner, 54th and Willows, that Chinese store on the corner, 54th and Willows, I've seen 5 of my friends get shot and killed in front of me. And then losing my son at 18 years old. And then being shot at some time in my life. When my son was 8 months years old, I was on the run from the FBI. What? I was on the run. On the phone with the police officers holding my son at 8 months years old, telling me not to run. I ran anyway. But if it wasn't for the grace of God and my mom, that's right. My mom went to the police station and said, whatever charges that you have on my son, I'll take them. Just leave him alone. Don't look for him no more. And when I see these mothers, I see these women in the audience and you know, supporters, I think of my mom. Because I wouldn't be here. Just think about that day that would have changed for the rest of my life. I sold drugs. I did all these things. But my resilience, my wanting to want better for myself, got me to this position in. And now I'm managing a program for justice involved youth. Look at God.
That's right. That's right.
The thing with all of us is saying is if we can do it, I don't care what time it happens. It's all the same. We done went through and been through slavery. We done been through oppression. We done been through beatings and everything else that we can possibly have been through as a culture. But you as an individual have the DNA from all of those generations into where you are and where you have now. Think about where we at. Ethical society. You know what I mean? Like, these are things that, if you just really think about it, these are things that puts other things in perspective for your children. And we as a people, starting today, starting yesterday, starting this moment, you're part of the change. And I just want you to continue your growth. I don't want it to end here. All right? So, I just had to get that off my chest because I literally was about to start crying in the corner. And in order for me to not kind of feel that emotion is because of the passion I have for y'all. And I say the same thing, the only thing that gets me through day by day is living by faith and not by sight. And because of you is the reason why I can walk and talk and be here without my 18-year-old son that would have been 20. So I want to bring up Miss Alberta, Miss Alberta Floyd, because we want to introduce the next speaker. And again, I just want to thank you all for being here. So I appreciate it.
Good afternoon, everybody. So every once in a while, you will meet somebody in your life that will change the course of who you are and who you want to be. And I have been a high school teacher for 16 years. I taught at most of the public schools in Philadelphia. I'm a mother of 4. I'm also an elder. But there's one thing that all parents used to say, and that is that you're always supposed to have respect for everybody. The new generation says that you have to earn it. The old generation says no matter if you earn it, they still get it. The drunk on the corner, the crossing guard, half of those people didn't earn our respect, but they got it anyway. Because once you taught that universal respect, it just went across the board in your home and in your house. And so, coming to The Choice Is Yours in Jazz, when I met Mr. George Clark, he is one of those people that will literally change how you think and how you see the world. I was watching a television program and Dr. Maya Angelou was on. And a young girl in the audience stood up and she said, I would like to ask Maya a question. It was, if you're old enough, because I'm telling my age now, it was Sally Jesse Raphael.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all remember that show?
Yeah.
And Dr. Maya Angelou was on, and if you don't know who she is, she passed away, but she was a great author. She was a great humanitarian. She worked under presidents. Her words went all across the country. The young girl stood up and she said, I would like to ask Maya a question. And Dr. Maya Angelou stood up and she said, my name is not Maya, it's Miss Angelou to you. I didn't give you a license to call me by my first name. And it did something to me because honor and respect means that you recognize not the person, but the person within the person. Every time I see y'all, I say Miss and Mr. And I say that for a reason. And that is because of not the person that you are, but the person that you will become. And so when you run across a man with dignity and honor, you cannot help but to respect him as dignity and honor. And Mr. George Clark is the program manager for the Choice Is Yours program. I've been there for going on 6 years now, but I know that I've never heard him say a negative word. He's always speaking with wisdom. He's always coming with information. He prays. This man comes with team. Anytime somebody says I, he says we. Anytime somebody say my, he say we. He lets us know that there is no I in team. And he pours his heart out every single day to make sure that the participants of the CTCY program succeed. And so without further ado, I would like to bring up Mr. George Clark, our program manager.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm truly deeply honored to have the opportunity to be in the presence of greatness. And I thought about, what I was going to say, and I'm just going to start out with an African proverb that simply says, I am because we are.
Come on.
I am because we are. And the day I was looking for a word, in the beginning was the word. The word was, I am a graduate. That's power. When we heard Mr. Michael Robinson say education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to them who prepare today, you're prepared to be able to make a difference in your home, to make a difference in your community, to make a difference in the world. I am the one who can make a difference. You are. And so today when I think about history, History has but one honorable purpose, is to train the student to be a responsible handler of power. You have the power to be able to change things. You have the power to be able to make a difference for your family. But we want to applaud the parents. Because it all starts with foundation. So let's just give our parents a And again, I think the words have been already eloquently spoken. To the valedictorians, to all of you who are here, sometimes you don't even have to say anything. But just look, just observe, and take in that which brings you joy. What brings you joy is to be able to know that when you first started this journey in Strive, Future Leaders, program, whether TCY, and I want to just take this moment to thank Mr. Jermaine Jackson and the entire Strive Future Leaders organization, because you gave us the opportunity to be here today to celebrate some graduates from TCY. Jermaine, you didn't have to do it. To the staff, you didn't have to do it. But see, that's what unity is all about. Is being able to not to look at it just from your own perspective, but being able to look at it as a team. To be able to look at it as a family. And so when I look in the eyes and when I hear what I hear, what impressed me was to be able to hear Mr. Ishmael, talk about the importance of being a father of 5 children. And to look at it in terms of wanting to go back to get his education. And there's many days I saw him in the educational enhancement workstation, working at it. But today when I look at it, I just want to thank him and all of you for giving me the opportunity that there's things that I can still strive for to be better. So what can I say to you today that has not already been said? You deserve the best, and I want to be able to just say to you, we sincerely appreciate all that you've done, and great things are in store. I just ask that you just stay connected. And because you graduate don't mean that, it's over and you move on. Go back. Go back to Strive. Go back and look at how you can make a difference. And I always say to you, when I started this journey in terms of juvenile delinquency and action, I started back in 1964 when I was 8 years old. Going to a boys and club at that time. But now it's a Boys and Girls Club. And that's made a difference in terms of wanting to be able to give back. What can you give back today that can make a difference? Your time, your talent, your treasures. And again, I know I'm supposed to be speaking about TCY, the program, but see, it's more than a program. It's mission. A mission with a family focus, a mission to be able to empower one another to do the things that we do. So again, I just want to say congratulations to all of the graduates. I want to thank again to Strive, Future Leaders, family, for connecting with our family. And guess what? Watch and see what's getting ready to manifest from today. You're birthing a paradigm shift that these programs nationally, internationally, is going to begin to prosper. But I'll tell you this, Ishmael, and all of you who are here, they're not going to ask to speak to Mr. Jermaine. They're not going to ask to speak to Mr. Clark. They're going to ask to speak to you. Because what you said today couldn't have been no better explained and expressed the way you did it. Why? Because you spoke from the depths of your soul. It wasn't something that you had to rehearse. It's not something that you're hearing it from the gut. And that's what we talk about, where we all come from. But today we're blessed to have parents, we're blessed to have a family, we're blessed to have a Strive, Future Leaders Program, we're blessed to have TCY, but the bottom line is, what are we going to do with it? And so I encourage you to continue in your educational pursuits, continue to stay connected to the love, to the energy that's in this room. And again, let's just give our graduates a round of applause and let them speak to us. I'm sorry, before I leave, can I please have my staff stand up for a minute? Is that okay, Jermaine? Yes. My staff,
the Strive staff to stand. And again, I say this all the time, that you will meet some amazing people on your road to life, and I can honestly say that both the TCY staff and the Strive staff are just amazing people. Joining the Strive family, when Mr. Jermaine Jackson came in, we already know each other because we deal with each other through Strive, through Jeffs and other ways, so we kind of knew each other. But then I got the opportunity to meet Miss Orr Henry, who was the case manager. Stand up. Now, every phone call that the parents got, every phone call that the clients got probably came from her, because she keeps it real and raw. Where are you? Why aren't you here? Get here before I get in my car. That's her. She will keep it real and raw. But that's what you need. You need that person. And then we also have Miss Yamilius De La Cruz. Stand up. Miss Yaya and I, that's what she's called, we work for both TCY and Strive. And the one thing that I really love about her is that you can have a disagreement, but the next day she just comes back with the sweetest personality. And I remember, like, I just had surgery not too long ago, and she came over and helped me change every Band-Aid. She sat with me while I was in pain. And that's just the kind of person that she are. And she has a whole crew of kids of her own. But she counted on robbery to come over and to do that gesture. And so she is like that sister that's going to stick with you no matter what. And then we have Miss Latifah. We have Miss Latifah. So Miss Latifah Houston, she is probably, and she's from down south, so she has that southern hospitality, but she still makes sure that each one of our participants succeed. And even today, just being in the car with her, I yielded to her. I said, "You want to sit in the front?" She said, "Miss Alberta, I'm from down south. We respect our elders." And that's, again, that just says so much about the person and the people that we work with. Because we're in a cancel culture right now where respect and honor does not matter. Whether you are old or young, black or white, Asian, whether you are 2 generations back or 3 generations forward, it doesn't matter. But to some of us, it still matters. Because for every single parent here, we went through things that our children just won't understand. And like Dr. Shulman said, Caesar said, you'll understand it by and by. But these amazing people are the people who help your young people get here today. So I just want to give them And I also just want to say to the TCY staff, Miss Sarah Steves, Miss Dominique Magnus, Mr. Barry Graham back there, Mr. George Clark, and Miss Yaya De La Cruz. These are also the people who helped Ishmael today. And it's supposed to be 3 other graduates, but he's the only one here because you're the only one meant to be here today. Yeah. Your purpose and your destiny is right here. And so as a family, I just want to say thank you. But right now we're going to bring up Miss Latifah Houston, who is the Career Pathway Navigator for the program. And she's going to present the credentials that our young people earn today.
Hello. So, as it's already been said, my name is Latifah Houston. I'm the Youth Career Pathway Navigator. And just so proud of y'all. All right. So one of the things I just want to share really quickly. Actually, I want to ask you guys, what's my favorite animal? Turtle. All right. So there's a thing. They're right. The turtle. So in my office, I actually have this big collection of turtles. And every time they come in, they're like, "Yo, what's up with all the turtles? You like turtles that much?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they're a cool animal, but the main reason is it has a purpose behind it." So everybody knows the story of the tortoise and the hare, right? What happens at the end?
Turtle.
Why the turtle win? Why the turtle win?
Slow and steady.
Exactly, there we go. So I'm gonna give you guys that hare did fall asleep, but still, slow and steady wins the race. Right? So there's a quote by Confucius. It says, "It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop." And I just want to take a moment to tell you guys, thank you for not stopping. I know we had some times in the classroom where people wanted to give up. Y'all said, "Man, forget it. I'm gonna throw in the towel," but you still didn't give up. And I'm so proud of you guys. And the purpose for the turtles is, for me in my life, there was a lot of times where I was behind everybody else. I would see everybody else buying a house, buying this, doing that, getting a job with their degree. It took me 5 years to find a job with my degree. But the turtle was an emblem for me to remind myself, it doesn't matter if I'm slower than everybody else. As long as I get to the goal, that's all that really matters. So I want you guys to remember that too. It doesn't matter if somebody else is doing things bigger or better, like our special guest speaker said. Hey, find out what they're doing so that you can get there too, right? All right, so for our awards, we have something called our ACE workshops, which are active career exploration workshops. So in those workshops, this is where we went over basically job readiness and also like changing our mindset, getting ourselves ready to enter the world as successful young people. So it's developed off of 5 principles. The 5 principles are collaboration and community building, self-reflection, professional communication, career exploration and job search, and leadership and decision making. So all of you exhibited or did very well in all 5 principles. However, I had to choose only one person for each one as far as the top one who exhibited that principle in the ACE workshops. So, right? So for the first one, collaboration and community building. Sorry, technical difficulties. Dorian Saunders. All right, also, I'm going to announce their certifications. So with Strive Future Leaders, we partnered with Penn Foster to do professional certification courses. So Dorian has also earned his certificate of completion in retail industry fundamentals. So he is a certified retail industry specialist. All right, our next key principle was self-reflection. For self-reflection, Michael Saunders. Michael has also earned his Penn Foster credential and food service. All right, our next award for professional communication, and I just have to point this out for this next person, all right? We actually had similar situations. But kind of flipped in the reverse. When I was in college, my last year of college, I was actually pregnant with my one and only daughter. And surprisingly, I actually got 2 great things in one weekend, in the span of 24 hours. So at 2:30 in the afternoon on Saturday, I graduated with my degree. And then 2:30 the next day, I had my daughter. So for this young lady, the fact that she went through this, right, and still persevered and was always communicating with me, always hitting me up, like, Miss Latifah, what I gotta do next? Miss Latifah, when do you need me to come in? Miss Latifah, what's up? What's going on? I just love you. You're so great. Stephanie Dell. All right, for our next one, career exploration and job search. Unfortunately, this gentleman was not able to join us, but it will be for Mr. Tyler Johnson. He was very successful in getting in there, learning all the things that he needed to learn to get to a job, and was like right on it. Went to his interviews, got a job super quick. He was like, I think, the fastest one to get a job. Yeah, so Tyler Johnson for career exploration. All right, and the last one, leadership and decision making. So for this gentleman, I had to give him an extra role because anywhere he went, didn't matter if I put him in a separate room, he would start talking to people and would start getting them to go. So, I think everybody knows who it is, right? Who is it? Gabriel. And Gabriel also has earned his certificate of completion in the retail industry fundamentals test. All right, so for the rest of it, it's just going to be our certifications. So also, with his certification of completion in the retail industry fundamentals, Mr. Joseph Burton. Alright, we also, with the retail industry fundamentals, would be Mr. Iriel King. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it today, but congratulations, Iriel. Alright, next, Mr. Nasir Witherspoon. He also has earned his retail industry fundamentals certification. All right, and a few more. Hakeem Aiden Williams, he wasn't able to make it today, but he also earned his retail industry fundamentals certification. And then I did a ACE Workshop Perfect Attendance Award. However, unfortunately, this gentleman's not here, but it was Mr. Iriel King. Even though we had to switch to virtual because of coronavirus, he was still on there. Sometimes it would just be me and him sitting there having class together. So I wanted to acknowledge the fact that he never gave up. He was always there for class. That's it. All right, and that's it. So I'm going to hand it over to Miss Alberta for our actual diplomas. Yay! And this is what this day is all about. And when we look back on education, I know I did not take school seriously at first. I got kicked out of 4 schools. I ain't even gonna lie, I was kicked out of 4 schools. Came to Germantown and a couple of them, but just didn't take education seriously. I didn't realize how many people from my past paved my way for me to even be in the school. I didn't understand that concept. And I've been out on my own since I was 12, been homeless, slept on the street with a 3-day-old baby. And so everything that my parents worked for, I definitely took it for granted. And so to all of the parents who are sitting in the audience today, I just personally want to say thank you. Because again, sometimes you don't realize the struggles that your parents go through until you go through them when you have children of your own or you become an adult. But I met a lady along the way, and her name was Dr. Dorothy Height. And if you know anything about her, she was one of those people that you only saw in a history book. She's the mother of the Civil Rights Movement, and she was the Secretary of Education, worked under all 5 presidents from Kennedy to Obama. In fact, President Obama did her eulogy.
But I was doing a function with her, and there was somebody in the audience, and they was like, "Be quiet, a grown lady is speaking." And this woman was 98, and she said, "I'm not grown, I'm mature." And that was all she said. And so that's what I would tell you. Stop being grown, and today just be mature. And your life, be mature from that day forward. Because if you're grown, you can't hear information. And if you're grown, you can't receive correction. And grown people will always announce that they're grown, but mature people won't announce that they're mature. We'll just walk in our purpose. And that's my message to you. And now, the next part, the diplomas. The first person we had is, and I'm sorry, we're going to ask all of the staff to stand up. Both programs, we're going to ask the staff to stand up. We're going to ask Ms. Henry and Ms. De La Cruz to come on the stage. And we're also going to ask Mr. Graham to come on the stage because he is the new case manager for Ishmael Rodriguez. Mr. Barry is like the brother you want to have at every barbecue. He's just going to make it live. Our first person is Mr. Demetrius Bell. Our next person, who just had a baby a couple of days ago, y'all, so give her a round of applause, is Miss Stephanie Bell.
See her get this one.
Our next graduate is Mr. Michael Fuentes. Our next participant, who all of them are dear to me, but Mr. Samir Gans. Please stand up. Y'all can tell we have a lively group, right? Our next graduate is Miss Mary Taylor Moore.
There is a God.
Our next graduate is our class valedictorian, Mr. Gabriel Palmer. Our next graduate. Gabriel keeps us smiling. They all do. So again, one of those. So before I just continue, let me explain to you that the Penn Foster High School completion program is an accelerated high school diploma program. And if students do not come with any credits, they have to answer 3,086 questions in order to get their high school diploma. And so some of the participants that came in to get their high school diploma did not have any credits, and they had to answer all 3,086 questions. So give them a hand. And our next graduate is Mr. Joseph Burton. Our next graduate is, again, just one of those hard-working men who came in and was definitely focused. But please give it up for Mr. Dorian Sanders. And our next graduate, listen, I was about to adopt him. Okay, that's how long we've been together, but he has done it, and we are so very proud of him. So give it up for Mr. Nasir Witherspoon. It's my thing. We also had Mr. Abdul Timmons. Give him a hand.
I gotta say something about this young man right here. He was my, I don't want to call him my trouble child, but he was that one that I had to keep pulling, like, come on, you gonna do it, you gonna make it. And he almost threw in the towel when he thought that, like,
I was about the Mike Tyson situation.
no, but I am so proud that he still stuck through it and he finally finished, like, he got it done. And I just,
He wasn't gonna throw no towel, because I'm an old-fashioned grandma.
Come on.
I'm proud of your son.
And then last but not least, and this is what I want to say, because Ishmael Rodriguez was one of those participants that didn't come in with any credits. And so he definitely went through the program even until the very end. Plus he's a father of 5, plus he owns a business and planning on opening up several more. So I was definitely want to give Ishmael. When we talk about that tortoise and the hare, we actually had somebody who had 18 credits and only had to be in school for 1 week. Ishmael came in with none and beat that person. Okay. So, whenever you read that book, I think of Ishmael, who came in, sat down, did the work every single day. We blew up each other's phone because Because for me, it's not just a job. And I know as parents, you would want me to treat your child like I treat my own. And sometimes listen, I told you Ms. Orr kept it real, but I was the one I said, listen, the wig comes off, I will snatch you up if you don't give me work. I got clip-on earrings today. What? But it's all in love, and they know that. And that's why this is just the best crowd that we have had, because these graduates each have a story of their own. But we want to commend the father of five, the one that Let's give a hand for all of our graduates.
All right, let's give one more hand for our graduates. As we're coming to a close for our ceremony, for our 2021 commencement ceremony, typically I would have my director come have closing remarks, and unfortunately he had some, he's under medical right now, so he wasn't able to attend that. However, I do want to just, acknowledge him, Nigel Bowe, who's the executive director of Diversity Services. I want to give Nigel a round of applause. Again, I just want to say that, I'm extremely proud of you all. With Strive Future Leaders, just to let everyone know, because, it takes a village, right? Yes. We have these guys for another year. Okay, what that means is that although they've completed their projects, although they completed their tests and graduated and everything, we assist them with supportive services for a whole year after they graduate from the program. So we still want to continue helping them get jobs. We still want to continue helping them get, achieve either further. If they want to go to college, if they want to go to trade schools. We have a couple different events coming up. Again, Michael Robinson does a huge job fair every year, or whatever the case is. We have over 50 employer partners that we work with. So I definitely don't want this to be the last moment and last opportunities. Mike, how many jobs you had with us? Like 3, right? And every time you need another one, where you come? Right back to us, right? That's because we have an open door policy. And I'm not putting them out there. I'm just really saying this is what we do. It's not a situation where we just close the door and be like, all right, you finished, we done, right? If you need us, come holler at us, all right? So with that being said, I definitely want to close out. I want to say thank you to my staff. I want to say thank you to the Strive staff. I want to say thank you to TCY staff. I want to say thank you to Jeb's Human Services for giving us the opportunity, and also thanking the Philadelphia Ethical Society building and staff here. Because actually this event was supposed to be at the library, and because of the pandemic we weren't able to have it there. So I'm very blessed to be able to have it here, and it definitely all worked out. What we want to do is actually have all the graduates come up. We're going to take a group picture, and then we're going to take, feel more than welcome to take pictures with our backdrop in the back in front of our different signage and everything like that. And then towards the end, when you guys are ready to leave, we also have refreshments and we have meals to go for you guys to be able to take with you as well. All right, so right now we want to make that.
And before we do, I know we acknowledge everybody, but let's give a round of applause for Jermaine for all of
So for every part of it represents something. And so the robe represents, thank you. So the robe represents that they are clothed in the newness. When they turn that tassel from right to left, it means that they are stepping out of their old life into their new life. So this is a new beginning for them. May I please present the Strive Future Leaders